Okay.
iPad and everything.
Well, we survived the weather. We're a little delayed, but given that the year we've had, probably very appropriate. First, it's my pleasure to welcome all the friends and family members and neighbors to Nicole Bowman's graduation ceremony from Rutgers, live from Downers Grove, Illinois. Should be good. At first, I'll read the invocation. Glasses. We have traveled a long road to bring us to this day. Here at this crossroads, at this way station, we pause to reflect on the road behind us and the road ahead. We thank you, Lord, our God, ruler of the universe, who has granted us life, who has sustained us, and who has helped us to reach this season and this point of our journey. As we pause, we give you thanks for this moment, for the day and the life-giving rain, which we had, for the celebration of mothers and of the gift of life and love, for the celebration of accomplishment with families and friends, for the pomp, the circumstance, the skirl of the pipes, for the joy of the day and the celebration of the moment. But here in this moment, we also look back on the road behind us, and we give thanks to you. God, our weary years, God of our silent tears, for the journey our graduates set out on years ago, for the learning, the growth, the openness to new experiences, the new understandings, the faculty who brought instruction, the staff who supported them in their need, the semesters abroad, the internships downtown, for the friendships, the relationships, the late nights, the deep conversations and the not so deep ones, for the times of joy and sorrow, of triumph and defeat. We know that the way has not always been easy. At times, stones has been the road we trod, and our feet become weary. We have seen tragedy and grief, injustice and hate, long-born pain. But on the stony road, we have also found traveling companions who have borne us up, who have walked together in solidarity. We have fought for justice. We have lived out love, who have embodied compassion, who have affirmed our common humility. And so, in that hope, on this day, we give thanks for the road ahead, for the difference our graduates will make, for the creativity they will offer, for the gifts they will share, for the wisdom they will continue to acquire, for the passion they will bring, for the imagination, for the fearlessness in which they will face the future and the many challenges it will bring. And so, O God, most gracious, most merciful, who walks beside us on the roads of our lives, we pray that in their journeys they may continue to be beacons of hope and promise to a broken world, a world in need, a world waiting for them. Amen. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the 2020 graduates, specifically Nick Zuhowski and Jack Zuhowski, Nicole's cousins, along with countless other friends of Nicole, teammates, compatriots, who all are illustrious 2020 graduates. Experts say we are going through the first global recession since the Great Depression. And these are very challenging times for all of us. But I'm reminded that many of us have enjoyed great success in this country, largely based on the people that lead or rebuild out of the Great Depression. Some famous women I'm reminded of that were born out of the Great Depression, that came out of that era. Katharine Hepburn was a mere teenager during the Depression, went on to multiple Academy Awards. Hepburn's independence of mind and assertiveness helped redefine women's roles in Hollywood and post-war America. She was a teenager during the Great Depression. Mother Teresa was a Roman Catholic nun who was exactly your age, 21 years old, who devoted her life to serving the poor and the destitute around the world. I wonder how much the Great Depression affected her. Mother Teresa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and became a symbol of charitable, selfless work. We're reminded by these great individuals that a lot of great can come from depression and from challenges. Countless others shaped America over the next 90 years since that depression. They were instruments and thinkers who moved our country in a different direction and made us so successful today in this great country. And you will all get the opportunity to make your mark in the coming years in the same fashion. 2020 is a great year. No question about it. Out of great challenge comes great moments. Nicole, you know this well. Both in softball and in life, many of the things you have encountered have prepared you well for this time. Two quick examples come to mind. One, being deaf in your right ear and never letting that get in the way of your social or economic or academic life while mom and dad were devastated.
Yeah, you cried.
at the time. But you just brushed it off and continued on.
I was only like 6.
And of course, there has to be a softball reference. The many games in which, despite great defeat, monumental challenge that you and your teammates faced, you overcame to snatch victory. The first of these was, or the first of many, was that PGF National Qualifier in New Jersey, where you and your teammates had to win 7 games in a row to get to California. And lo and behold, you did exactly that. Some of my favorite memories of that were your throw from right field to throw out a would-be base run scorer to Morgan Greenwood at third, perfect dead-on throw, knocking down that run before it could score. Key hits, key defensive play, and overall terrific team wins throughout the day. So my advice to you and your classmates is look for great opportunities. Look to the future and what you will build over the next 90 years. You can do great things, and I expect you to do great things. Joyce Donato said, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself right here, right now, in this single solitary moment, monumental moment in your life, is to decide without apology to commit to the journey and not the outcome. I thought it was very telling that I listened to Uncle Bill's interview podcast with Steppenwolf yesterday. And throughout, it's just talking about the journey. He talks about the journey. It's not about what happens today, what happens tomorrow, it's about the journey. So I thought that was very apropos that he pulled that out. I had this in advance, so it was pretty good. Steve Jobs. You all should know Steve Jobs from Apple. In 2005, he said, "I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did." You've got to find what you love. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe to be great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Robert Krulwich, UC Berkeley Journalism School, for the journalism major. Think about not waiting for a company to call you up. Think about not giving your heart to a bunch of adults who don't know. Think about horizontal loyalty. Think about turning to people you already know, who are already your friends or your friends of their friends, and making something that makes sense to you together. That is as beautiful or as true as you can make it. I thought that was an excellent quote for this day and age, where we will need new industries, we will need new companies, we will need new leaders. And much better to blaze your own path with your friends and friends of your friends. Really great advice during this time. Lastly, this is your day, Nicole.
Yeah.
A day you have worked incredibly hard for. I was very nervous for you when you began your career at Rutgers.
So nice.
Yes. You picked a stretch school academically, so I was worried about that. Top academic institution. a Power 5 softball conference. I was nervous about that. Very few from Downers Grove have attempted to play at such a high level. 798 miles away from us, which is a long way. Mom wouldn't let you go to California, but 798 miles to the other side is good. You found a way to excel at both. Exceeding expectations, my expectations, your mom's expectations, from the first month. We thought you'd be back very quickly. Starting each year on the softball team, maintaining high academics all the while, and growing as you played your career out at Rutgers. But what I'm most proud of today is how you have learned what college is all about. Not what's in the classroom, it's who's in the classroom. It's what and who are outside of the classroom. It's about relationships. It's about overcoming overwhelming challenges and succeeding and gaining strength from those successes. It's about surrounding yourself with good people all the time and letting the rest go. Living with all different kinds of people, but finding common ground with them. Making lasting friendships. I'm lucky enough to have made a friend the day I was at Bradley in Bob Beecroft. We now live less than a mile away. We've lived less than a mile away our whole lives. So it's pretty impressive, and that's really what it's all about. All the while gaining the confidence in your convictions and the tools to be able to accomplish anything in life. I feel like I am the luckiest father along the way. To have spent over 15,000 hours on the softball field with you. The car rides, the ups, the downs, the crying.
Lots of crying. There was a lot of crying, right, Kristen?
The celebrations. We have put the work in, Nicole, and I am overjoyed with pride at who you have become. I love you and look forward to growing into the future with you. Now, our next speaker is someone very close to my heart, my wife and your mom.
Wow.
Honey?
I don't know how you could top that.
Oh, she can top it. She can top it.
Can we get some applause for Mom?
I have to say, Brian said he was going to be short and then introduce me, so I had an entire flashback to my wedding and Bob's best man speech. It just went on and on and on. It was great, honey. I don't know how I'm going to top it.
Oh, you will.
All right, I got my reading glasses too. All right, so mine's a little bit different. And I'm not sure I'm gonna get through it without crying, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So mine is a thank you letter to my daughter as she graduates from college. Dear Nicole, well, sweetie, here we are. This week you graduate virtually from Rutgers, not as we all hoped or planned for, but awesome nonetheless. So I'm sure it comes as no big surprise that I've got a few things to say, and because you know how I'm wired on the inside, you know it's apt to get a little drippy, so bear with me. I'm crying already.
Where I get it from? God.
Now I know you're happiest when you're not the focus of attention, especially mom and dad's focus, and I totally understand why you feel that way. Privacy, anonymity, and all that, I get it. I really do, and that's why I've always tried to respect your request to leave UB until today. Today, however, a mom's got to do what a mom's got to do and pour it all out for our family and friends to see. Because if I don't unload some of these big, overpowering feelings I've got filling up my chest cavity, I'm going to explode. Dear daughter, I'm most proud of the person you've become since you started freshman year. Now, there are dozens of things I could talk about here. I know that. And it's been a challenge to think of just the right way to explain what I'm feeling as a mom, watching my first, my last, and my only child toe the line at the start of her true adult life. Like, I can talk about all the pride I feel about everything you've accomplished academically while you've been at school, especially your senior year. But I won't. That would be too predictable and a little too braggy. And you'd kill me in my sleep if I did it publicly. I can share how beautiful it's been to watch you strike out on your semi-own and live and thrive and manage your time and your life and your relationships like a bona fide grown-up, but I'm not. Or I can tell you how proud I am of all your accomplishments on the softball field at Rutgers, how you continuously spoke up for yourself and found ways to contribute to the team, because that's some inspiring stuff. How you toughed out your junior year and made the incredible decision to save a year of eligibility for grad school. Woohoo! UNC Charlotte! Yes. But I'm not gonna go there either. There'll be no long, drawn-out monologue about how I just don't know where all the time has gone, or how it seems like just yesterday you took your first steps in our house, or smeared your first spaghetti dinner all over your face, or slept through the night that very first time and scared the shit out of me thinking I slept through your cries, or how it feels impossible that the cap and gown that just arrived in the mail yesterday is really yours. Nah, I'm not going anywhere near any of that. And I'm also not interested in talking about the grades on your transcript, or how many connections you have on Instagram or your LinkedIn page.
Almost to 500.
Woo! Or how well positioned you are to succeed at UNC Charlotte. I mean, yeah, okay, those things are important, but they're not really what's on my mind. What I'm most focused on in this moment is who you've become as a person since you left for school freshman year, what you're walking away with on the inside. That's what's filling my heart up today and making the tears fall. And it's what's giving me the greatest sense of pride. To me, it's been all about your willingness to discover your best self, how tirelessly and deliberately you've learned how to engage with all the people around you to find your own unique place in the world. It's about the leaps of faith and risks you took by experimenting with things like majors and friendships and athletics, and the pivots you made when you knew a direction didn't feel right. Those are the big takeaways as far as I'm concerned, and the reasons why we know you're ready for what comes next. So as you get ready to virtually walk the walk, all I really want to do here is say thank you. Just thank you. Thanks for taking all these chances on yourself and believing that the sky is the limit. Thank you for being willing to fall and fail and screw it all up before you got it right. Thank you for doing exactly what any parent hopes that their kid does with this experience. Just thank you. Now go do all the same stuff at UNCC and for the rest of your life. I love you, Mom.
Woo!
Woo! I love you. I'm proud of you.
Very good, honey. Only I know you have that skill. Very good. Lastly, I'd like to end on one of my favorite quotes by Theodore Roosevelt. And I changed a few things, but it's 99.9% from him. The woman in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the woman who points out how the strong woman stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So that is her place, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. So I'm super proud of you, Nicole. Honey, will you come back up? We need to give Nicole her diploma.
Oh, we don't have that.
Now, please stand. Yes, you're the graduate. What do we do? They move the tassel?
It's already moved.
Ah,
Right? Was it again?
move the tassel. You need to come up and hug and kiss your parents.
Is that what they do with graduation?
Congratulations. Love you, buddy. Now, you may throw your hat into the air. Hey!